Hello everybody, this is Purge, and I'm bringing you guys a replay commentary. This is going to be an Ursa game. I haven't made an Ursa game in like a year. I can't believe it. I actually like Ursa a lot as a carry. I don't think he's a good hero, but he's pretty fun to play, and he has a really interesting power curve. First things first, I'm going to upload another video today, shortly later, maybe like a couple hours later. That is a little chunk. It's about 20 minutes of me doing Q&A on my stream. It's not like super organized content, it's not super professional or anything, but I spent a lot of time answering questions that people asked. I talked a lot about MMR, raising your MMR, how to get to 6k. I talked about the guy that posted on Reddit. He had a 6k, he got to 6k by playing Coddle in solo queue, which was pretty amazing. I talked about that on there. And a couple other things. So if you guys want to check that out, just keep an eye out for it later, and I'm going to upload that. And I just thought I would give you guys a preface here. That way, when it comes up, you're not going to be like, why did Purge upload a 20-minute video from a stream that's not like super well done? It's basically because I wasn't planning on it, but I felt like it was something that people will be interested in watching. So anyways, now we can talk about Ursa. I played a lot of carries this week, or at least on stream last night. So I'll get another video up of carries. Did a Wraith Knight game, I did a Ursa game, and I played Invoker, which I'll upload games of. I think the Wraith Knight I'll do a live, and the Invoker I'll do a live one, because I felt like I gave pretty good commentary. But this game is going to be a replay, because it was the first game that I played of this stream, and I was kind of salty, because I was really tired last night when I started the stream, so I was kind of frustrated, and I didn't really want to show that to you guys, because it wasn't really acceptable behavior. It wasn't that bad. I'm making it sound really bad, but it wasn't that bad. But it wasn't very okay. Anyways, Ursa. Let's talk about Ursa. Ursa is an agility carry. He does a ton of burst physical damage, and he has one of the highest short-term damage outputs in the entire game. Like, it's pretty incredible how much damage this guy puts out. But the weird part is his damage isn't really based around the fact that he's an agility hero. It's more based around the fact of his third skill, which is called Fury Swipes, and his ultimate, which is called Enrage. His Fury Swipes, the way it works is, as you attack somebody, they get a buff of Fury Swipes, and as you attack them again, they get extra damage, so the damage per attack adds up. So if you attack somebody 3 times with 30 damage per attack, the first attack does regular damage, then the second attack does your damage plus 30, and then the next attack does your damage plus 60, and the next attack does your damage plus 90. It adds up and ends up doing a lot of damage, and that goes in combo with Overpower, which makes you attack really fast for a short amount of times in a team fight, or while you're attacking. You can use that on creeps, you can use it on heroes. It doesn't work on buildings, but it does work on Roshan, which allows Ursa to take really fast Roshans, and you get Aegises and extra levels. And then his ultimate, the way that works is the amount of health that you have remaining, you get a bonus in that damage by a percentage. So it doesn't cost any mana to activate it. The cooldown's pretty low, but it lasts for 15 seconds out of a total of 25, so it gives you a lot of burst damage as well. This is mostly right-click damage, so you have something that adds up over time, you have something that just hits really hard while it's up. If your HP is full, if your HP gets low, you hit a lot less hard. So this is weird, because Ursa is actually an agility hero. He would be OP if he was strength, though, because if you got bonus damage based on the amount of HP you had, and you also got damage based on your the strength that you had, then the hero would become too strong in terms of damage output, in my opinion. I didn't even see him write that at all. That was weird. So first things first. As a hero, the best thing about this hero is lifesteal, because that allows you to take Roshan really rapidly. The only problem is that most people expect it as an Ursa, so you have to be a little bit protected against it. But either way, you get lifesteal. In the past, the way Ursa worked was that his third skill was a user... It's an orb in Dota 1. In Dota 2, it's called Unique Attack Modifier, UAM. But they buffed Ursa where the Fury Swipes doesn't become that anymore, so now you can get lifesteal. Before, you'd have to get an aura lifesteal like a Vlad's to get lifesteal, basically. But now you can just get a Mask of Death. You can make a Mask of Menace, you can make a Helm of the Dominator, you can make all those items, if you want to do that. I don't recommend it. Making a full Vlad's is okay, but it's not really needed anymore. Mask of Death's only 900, and it gives you about everything you need. The only downside is that the mana regen is really good on Vlad's, because Ursa's mana pool is pretty crap, and I think his gain is really bad too. His gain is 1.5, it's pretty terrible. His strength gain is far higher than his agility gain is, but again, that's not that big of a deal, because most of his damage comes from Overpower and Enrage anyways. So I don't know why that courier was there, but we ran it out. So grabbing the bounty runes when I can. The most variable thing about this hero, I think, is going to be his skill. His skill build is pretty different depending on who you're playing and who you're playing with and what you're playing against and what you feel like doing. His item build is pretty static, and that's one of his weaknesses as a hero, is that he kind of needs to get a certain item set, and he doesn't have a lot of variability with that. I'm going to grab boots here since I got the bounty rune. This is pretty fantastic for me because Ursa is pretty much about chasing heroes down, so boots advantage here is really good. I think I missed the first last hit. Yeah, I was slightly too far away from the creep there. I really like his animation. His base movement speed's pretty high. It's actually 310, I think. Yeah, 310 base movement speed. It's pretty high. Not amazing, but pretty high. So, because Ursa has so much physical damage output, what he's actually missing is disable, mobility. Disable and mobility is actually all he's really missing. He doesn't have lockdown either, so he can't really prevent hexes or disables, but he can, and he can't really disable his opponents either. So, you kind of have to make up for that in items. Does it feel like I just said a lot of things? Because I really did. He really needs a lot of things, and that's kind of one of the major issues with Ursa, is that he needs mobility, he needs magic immunity, he might need disable. He's got a disable in his first skill, Urshock, but it's only a slow, it's not a stun. So there's a lot of heroes that can effectively just escape from him no problem. Like Storm's a good example, or Spectre can ulti and jump away, or Batrider could lasso me and then blink away in 3 seconds, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of heroes that actually have counters. Happy to hit this guy just a little bit here. Does a bunch of bonus damage. And unfortunately our wave is pushed. He did end up blocking our camp, so he was able to get wards pretty well there. I wonder if I should just gone for a harass there instead. He's got a lot of stacks on me, which is a little scary, but I should be okay. I mean, if he really wants to chase this, I can turn and fight him. I ended up getting 2 levels of Fury Swipes here. I think I maybe should have gone 1 Urshock, perhaps. I should have gone like 1-1-1, I think is the safer build. I think that would have been a lot smarter, because if I went that build instead, then I could actually slow the Batrider if really needed. I mean, 25 movement speed isn't huge, but... Ursa sees pretty much absolutely no play in the pro scene. He saw a little bit of play at TI 4. He was picked once or twice, but not a huge amount of times. It was more like a really situational pick kind of a thing. This game I went really heavily into Overpower and Fury Swipes. I don't usually do this. If you're playing mid Ursa, it's better to max out Urshock first in my opinion, because it's not the best nuke, but it's very spammable. It's a 6-second cooldown, and it costs very low mana at 75. So if you go mid with Ursa, which is possible against some matchups, like if you're against like an Ember Spirit or something like that, you could actually viably go Ursa mid. The amount of time that Fury Swipes lasts is 15 seconds on heroes, so if you're against a melee hero, Ursa's great. He's really, really good, but if you're against a ranged hero, it becomes a bit harder, as you can see from the bat. So if you go mid, max out Earthshock, or at least get a couple points, like 2 levels at least, because the mana cost is very low at 75. That's 1 bottle charge and you can do an Earthshock, so you can really spam and farm heavily with it, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. So I talked about getting a Mask of Death early. The skill build that I went this game was very heavy on Overpower and Fury Swipes, and that was because I wanted to take a fast Roshan. So one of the benefits of being a safe lane farmer is that you can take Roshan really rapidly, because you will get your farm very rapidly. There are ways to do it. I kept telling Chachi here to land a stun, because if he stunned the Batrider, there's a really good chance that I'd be able to kill him. Pretty much just need 1 stun and that would be a dead bat. I think that could have been a stun right there. That maybe could have been a stun too. It's kind of hard to get the organization off because it's unreliable. If we had a reliable stun here, like any kind of reliable stun, it'd be a guaranteed kill on the Batrider. Kind of becomes frustrating in a lane against something like this. I did pick up a magic stick though. Make sure you do this versus Batriders, because they will cast a lot, and this guarantees that I have more mana. This is and heal. This is 150 HP heal, 150 mana. That might have been a stun as well, you know. There's a lot of opportunities for disables. I could have used Overpower there to get both last hits, because I knew that both were going to die at a very similar time point. I like having phase boots a lot on Ursa. I decided to chase here. I felt like I was maybe a little bit too late, and I felt like going really aggressive. So right before I died, I popped a wand. He actually stopped moving because he salved himself, and I ended up getting the kill first. It's actually not worth it to do that. Well, I don't know. Let's go back. Let's see what my gold, you know, I'll just look at the fight recap. So, nope, that's not what I want. I want my fight recap. And then I'll die here. Alright, so I gained 171 gold. He got 96. It keeps blocking it because the Quap got the kill. But basically, I gain a very marginal amount of gold. I give him a very marginal amount of gold, but I get experience and he doesn't. So if we look at the levels, he's probably kind of close to me because he's been solo experience. But yeah, he's actually the same level as me because he's been getting solo experience and I've been sharing my experience 2 ways the whole time. But I said whatever, like, I don't know, I just wanted to kill him. And that was probably a mistake. As a carry, you don't really need to do that. The main issue is that our creep wave was always really far pushed up, which made it difficult for us to be able to go for it's definitely something I want to pressure here. You get land a stun, nope, and Chachi missed. AK didn't stun. This should be a kill here because he runs out of Firefly, and at that point I phase boots. He could make me pretty slow. As you can see, I was running at 250 with 4 napalm stacks, but that's where the phase boots kind of helps out. It's pretty much an annoying matchup because I have to just walk after him, and I think I could have done that a little bit better, the whole chasing aspect of it too, but whatever, it worked out. We got the kill, with Quap picking it up. My CS is okay, it's not amazing here. I'm going to buy the Mask of Death, or the Morbid Mask, sorry, and the Smoke of Deceit on the Courier. I don't want to necessarily buy it at the side shop. Buying the Mask of Death over here, the Morbid Mask, is fine, because every Ursa will get lifesteal, but the tricky part is getting the Smoke. If I buy a Smoke and I show that I have a Smoke, that reveals that I'm going to try to secret Roshan. And it's not really that much of a secret, like I said, but there's always going to be people that take early Roshans as Ursa, and that's something that you should just expect against the hero. It's even, like, Lycan is kind of similar. Lycan can take Roshan, but Ursa does it even more safe. Ursa is essentially not too worried about dying here, at least if his skill build is good. If an Ursa has a lot of overpower and a lot of Fury swipes, then he will take Roshan very rapidly. I actually grabbed Enrage here. It's good against heroes, but against Roshan it's not really that needed. What you really want is more levels of Fury swipes, and you'll actually Rosh a little bit faster. So if you're just Roshing, and that's all you care about, just getting a really early Rosh, then levels of Fury swipes and overpower are enough. So my items are here. I was going to go Rosh, but I didn't really want to leave the lane until somebody came to replace me, because I could gain items and farm from this. Or at least I could get my team some gold advantage. So I told Chachi to come back to the lane so that he could get solo experience. And here we go. Now I'm going to smoke. Although I do know that the Bat Rider warded the pull camp, so I have to be a little careful about where I stand. So I wanted to stand over here because I thought there was an okay chance of it not being spotted here. And as you're approaching the Rosh camp, make sure that you use overpower before you get there, because the cooldown and the duration is far longer than the cooldown. So usually what you actually want to do is you want to start hitting as your overpower is about to come up again. And that gives you the most stacks. That's the biggest mistake that people make when they play Ursa. So I basically just stand here and look around the map, but if we just look down here as I hit more and more, the stacks go up, so I get this much bonus damage every time I hit, and I lifesteal on that as well. So if I'm hitting for 500 physical damage, I'm also lifestealing 15% of that, so I'm actually getting like a stupid amount of HP every hit. I'm getting about 70 HP every time. So very, very normal for Ursas to do that. I don't like what the Quap did here. The Quap saw that I was Roshing and he came over to get experience. And I think that's a mistake as a mid-hero. Like, there's a lot of places on the map that you can get golden experience, and yeah, it gives him experience and levels, but that could have been extra levels for me. He could have been doing something else like farming, while I also grabbed it. So, like, for him personally, it increases his level gain. It's good for him, but for the team as a whole, it was negative for him to do that. Because I could have been probably level 9 there, and who knows, maybe that level 9 would have increased my overall farm rate or gotten me more kills. Now, with my 8th point here, I put another level into Fury Swipes, and I think this is a mistake. I should have gone Urshock, definitely. I think it's fair to go like lots of overpower and lots of Fury Swipes so that I can kill Rosh really quick. But after that point, I have to be more concerned about team fighting and ganking and stuff like that. And as soon as I'm done with Rosh, I'm going to come back down here and I'm going to go start pushing towers, and I'm going to start getting farm. Because the next item that I need to pick up is a Blink Dagger, and this counters my mobility problem that you get as playing Ursa. There's a couple of ways that you can, couple items you can get to increase his mobility, one of which is Shadow Blade. But I really don't like that build. It's not good. You have to go Blink when you play Ursa. One of the reasons is because you get Aegises all the time, so as you die, it's good to be able to Blink right after the Aegis respawns you. But the main reason is because it gives you a lot more mobility than Shadowblade. Shadowblade also doesn't let you initiate under a tower. So when you're playing Ursa, definitely go for the Blink Dagger. Every single time that I play Ursa, I go Blink, and it's definitely the better build. You can maybe once in a while go some ridiculous build like Sanji and Yasha, but if you're playing anything serious or remotely serious, the Blink build is definitely the way to go. So this gives me Blink Dagger, and I can grab my Blink and I can go around ganking, and that's what you should do as soon as you get your Blink Dagger on Ursa. Ganking is the most important thing you can do. So I'm going to immediately shift to the top lane. I have 5 1-stick charges, and I want to jump on one of these heroes. I have to be careful not to show though, is the only thing. So I'm waiting for, unfortunately Wolfman kind of scared them here. He was playing the bottom. I wanted to go on the Spectre here. I messed this gank up, I think, pretty bad. Oh god, I remember this. Oh god, I was so upset with how that happened. This was the mistake I made though. They knew bottom was there. They knew Tidehunter was there, but they didn't know I was there. And I forced the fight on the Spectre way too hard. Like, I tried way too hard to jump on that Spectre. And I should have waited until he was Ravaged. If he was Ravaged, he just would have died 100%. And the same thing goes here. I don't have my Ursa, so I can't really slow anybody, so I'm kind of reliant on my opponent, my ally stunning. So that was a pretty big mistake that I made, personally. I should have played that a lot more safe. Also, my positioning here is really not very safe. It's like kind of safe. You know, it's actually okay because I have an Aegis. It's not that bad. I actually can't see that axe. I don't know why he's showing for me. I saw the Storm down here. I thought I could kill him. His HP is a little bit low. Also, I'm going to spot the Bat Rider here. And look at that. Like, that's a Storm. All he had to do is ball lightning and he would have lived. And he didn't do it in time. And I get a free kill on their solo mid in a level. Like, that's so powerful what that hero can do. And I also dive mid, which forces a TP. And then in the meantime, my team takes the top tower. So when you do get ganks off as Ursa, again, you don't always need a stun. Sometimes it's just good preparation. You have all your abilities ready. You jump right on top of the hero and you kill them in that small fraction of a second where they don't realize what's going on. Obviously, if that guy was a better player, he just would have balled away. But he didn't really expect me to come. So immediately after you do get your successful ganks off, it's also important that you move back into the jungle and you immediately start farming. Because being off the map is one of the things that's really scary about Ursa, is that you don't really know where he's going to jump out or who he's going to kill. Now, taking a camp like that, I think, is a bit of a waste, personally. I think I should be doing Ancients instead, because you can kill Ancients really rapidly with Ursa. Like, his biggest damage output is when you're killing one guy that has a stupid amount of HP, and you hit it for a really long time. Killing 3 different jungle creeps is kind of slow in a way, and I really messed up by using my Blink Dagger here. I should have approached slowly, but I wanted to get closer. And then he ultied, and I was like, oh, I guess he knows I'm here now. So I was like, well, that gank's over. It's like, but maybe I can check. He actually stayed for quite a while, and I did end up finding him here. And I ended up doing a lot of damage and killing him. At this point in the game, I have a stupid advantage over Spectre. He's got a Stout Shield and a Phase Boots. I didn't check those items before I went, but I should have. But the point is that, like, he basically is a physically fairly tanky hero, and he couldn't really do a whole lot to stay alive to me. Like, I jump on top of him, I give a very weak disable, and then I just right-click him until he dies. And now I picked up a Ogre Club. I'm going to build a BKB here. And the reason I have to build BKB this game is, first of all, because I have a line. Line has a ton of disables. And if you jump on somebody as Ursa and you don't have a disable yourself, then that hero is not going to... that hero's just going to disable you and he's going to run away. And Ursa's timing window is very small. You have like a 2-second window to do your damage before they get away, unless your Urshock is a higher level. And again, my Urshock is a really low level here. Gives me a lot of right-click damage, but my disable is really weak. So now I'm trying to figure out where to go, and I felt like I should go ganking again. So I was like, I'm going to go ganking again. I'll go top. Again, this is maybe one of the issues with the skill build, is that this spell is such a low cooldown, and Blink Dagger is very spammable as well, that your chase abilities are actually pretty good. So if I actually had 4 levels of Urshock here, I maybe could go for a kill like a lion, because I would disable him. I would slow him for 55% slow for 4 seconds. That makes him really slow, and it'd probably allow me to continue to chase. If they get back up, then it gets a little hard, but like, the more I watch this game, I just feel like I went the bad skill build, basically, and it lost me a lot of kills. The main issue was, well, I could have gotten the Spectre if I played a little bit safer, but whenever I play Ursa, I try to force things really hard because it's kind of how you play the hero, and it's fun to do that. So I think I force things a little bit too bad, and it loses me kills and things like that sometimes. I don't know. And I also feel like my team wasn't really setting up a lot of kills. The issue is we don't have a very good disables, so I'm kind of reliant on my allies to set things up. So here I was like, alright, we can fight this. It's like Chachi stun him. And I waited. And then I just went. And then unfortunately Chachi got hit. I was able to kill the Axe before I died. But that was actually a 2 for 2, so it wasn't that great. Actually, it wasn't that good at all. I think Wolfman is gonna die here too. It's basically nothing new. Oh, I am actually clicking on this too, so you just can't see it. I think you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see my mouse when I do a replay commentary. So I ended up dying there. I don't know. I think if Chachi had a different hero, like a reliable stun, it would work a lot better. Like, if you pick reliable stuns with Ursa, the hero becomes much stronger. Like, if you pick a Shadow Shaman or something, and you disable somebody for 2.5 seconds, Ursa kills anybody. It, like, doesn't matter what heroes, unless it's, like, Troll and he blinds him so that he can't hit as often. But, like, you just need reliable stuns. You just need stuns, and Ursa basically goes crazy and blows up the whole team because his damage output is so high. But we ended up dying there, and that was unfortunate. We did get 2 kills, but, you know, if I'm the carry, we don't really want that to happen. If you want to check out items, Tide's got a blink here. I told him, Ravage the Spectre. That's what I said. I said, Ravage the Spectre. That's the end of that fight. So that one was really frustrating. So I told the Tide to ravage him, but he didn't do it right away. He waited, and there's no point to wait. The important part, like, it may seem very small there because he did ravage him, but look at the distance that I'm just gonna like really lay this in with like drawing. Okay, you can see my boxes. This is all you can see. So the Spectre was like right here, right? We blinked from here, and where was the Spectre when he got stunned? He was all the way over here. So the first impactful thing, they obviously had a lot of heroes in the jungle, and maybe we had wards for that, and I should have been paying attention. But I saw the kill, and I knew we could get it if he got ravaged. He does have a Vanguard here, so he's a bit tanky, although he might have just bought this. But the important part is that the Spectre was here, and then he was here. And when the Axe got here, we were standing here. Let's say we initiated on the Spectre, for example, and he didn't move more than like this many units or something. That might have meant like an extra half second of the Axe coming to initiate. So like the initial stun is super important because if they don't move as the Ursa is hitting them, that gives them a little bit less time. That gives their team less time and position to react. If their whole team is standing here, that means like this is so much closer. This is like 30% closer. It's a super big deal. You have to stun right away, especially on a hero like Spectre that can escape. So anyways, I'm back to go fight again. I actually oh no, that was an old overpower actually. We got a really good fight off there. I'm just gonna back up so you guys can see this. I don't know how the Storm died, but looks like we just smoked towards... Oh, this is actually a Pottle multi. Oh, I see. I had an old overpower that was running out. We got 2 kills out of it additional to the quad, so that was pretty good. But yeah, it's really important that when you initiate ganks that you disable them right away. You don't want to give a chase, because when you give a chase, it gives your opponents a lot more space to initiate. It's kind of like the same principle as creep equilibrium. You want it to be really close to you when you initiate and far away from them, because you don't want to give them as many opportunities to just blow you up. So I think if I did the skill build again, I would keep Overpower and Fury Swipes maybe at 3, or I'd keep Overpower 4, 3 Fury Swipes, and probably 2 Urshaks by level 11. I think that would be a bit better. We could possibly go in him mid here, but it becomes a little dangerous. Another good thing about BKB is that despite Ogre Club being a strength item, it does actually increase your damage because you're getting 5, 6, 7% of that damage out. So if we do the math on that, I basically get 8 damage when I use Enrage when I have an Ogre Club, at least at the first level. This is really dangerous to farm here. I should have anticipated that where they were doing a lot of 5-man roaming. They spent a lot of time in their jungle together, so I ended up dying. I predicted a ward here. Let me see if there actually is a ward. There actually wasn't. They just... I think... Oh, actually, this ward spotted. So they did have a ward. Oh, he did Ravage. Oh, that actually was an okay Ravage. But the fight ended up being like a catastrophe for us. This was kind of my fault, though, because I got initiated on the first place. I wasn't alive for that fight. So, that was pretty bad. I basically played like a really sloppy Ursa game. I shouldn't have died to the Batrider bottom. Chachi should have landed a stun, we should have gotten a kill, and I've died, what, 4 times now? That's like way too much. Like, when I normally play Ursa, I get huge snowball advantages, basically. Usually, like, 6 or 7 kills before I throw the game. But this game, I didn't even get that huge of an advantage early on. And that was a little disappointing. I really didn't play very well this game at all. I blame my teammates a lot, but I honestly didn't play this game well. So, maxing out the Urshock now. Either way, they do still have a lot of disables, which is frustrating, but there's been a lot of ganks so far this game that really needed to be a lot more crisp, and they were simply just not crisp. Again, I really think I should be ancienting more. The gold that you get from ancients is huge. It's like 200 gold. A large camp is more like 75. And I can kill them so fast. And it's definitely worth it to use mana on these. Like, that gives 83 gold right there. And I hit that 4 times with Enrage. That's 4 times. I actually just got like over 200 gold just now. And I can kill that camp marginally, like slightly slower than a large camp. I should be, if you're playing Ursa, you should really take advantage of those, of ancient camps. It's amazing how fast you can get gold from that. So we've got a Spectre up top. I kind of wanted to fight on it, so I asked somebody to TP. I think this is one of the issues with my team here, is that they spend a lot of time in our jungle. I mean, we have been spending a lot of time in their jungle and getting caught and things like that, but my team's not creating enough space or looking for kills enough, I think. We've got the Quap coming here. And we've got an Axe showing. I don't remember what happens here. Unfortunately, these guys ran right through the river, and this is a really bad way to run when you're going to set up a gank. It's really not the right way at all. So that was actually a really good fight for us. We got 2 kills for free, maybe 3. And 3. So we got 3 kills for free. That was good. That was a really good fight. We had so many pauses this game for the storm. It was actually ridiculous. So with that kill, we're going to go run and take Roshan really quick, which is a really good call. I think it was the Quap's call. Make sure that when you play Ursa, though, you do end up clocking when Roshan dies. It's important to know when your Aegis is going to fade, among other reasons. Got my BKB. It's a little late. Decided to drop my magic stick here. And got a Bat Rider. He pretty much died for nothing, and he dropped a gem. So that was just a super big throw from him. What a big throw. So we kind of caught up and got a really good advantage from that last team fight. That was fantastic. One downside is my mana is really slow. We don't have a storm over here. And he actually died for nothing too. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are these guys doing? They like, okay, that guy actually disconnected, I think. He's just been having honest leg problems. I went back to heal because my mana pool is so low. Which is maybe not the best choice, but... another item that you can get if you don't want to get BKB, you can get Sanjin Yasha. That gives you movement speed. It gives you slow because you're attacking so many times. It gives you a good chance to proc. The other item you can get is a Basher because that mini stuns your opponents and allows you to hit more. It's like having a disable. A Hex is really good. That's probably one of the more common builds that high skilled Ursa players will get. It's more fun than the BKB, and it's also the Hex counter is like 2 things. BKB solves my problems if I'm worried about getting disabled, but if I'm trying to kill somebody that can easily just ball away like Storm Spirit, then having a Basher or a Hex is better. So in some ways the Hex is really good. It also gives you pretty much unlimited mana, so I can use Overpower and I can use Urshock whenever I want. So the build I went here was a little out of date maybe, and it felt good at times, but I'm not sure if it was the right one. I think the Mask of Death build is fine, just get the Mask of Death, but immediately afterwards, the Hex may have been a better choice, is what I'm trying to say. The Hex is useful, and it's going to scale great the whole game. It also gives you HP, which gives you more damage than rage. It's honestly not a bad item to have on Ursa. I just limited myself a little bit by getting the BKB. So I had no blink here, couldn't go on him. Oh, another build you can get is Heart if you really want to. Heart maybe doesn't quite make sense, but again, it's about enraged damage. So it gives you so much HP that in a ways, you're really tanky. You don't have to worry about disables as much, but most importantly that you're increasing your HP by 1,000, which means that when you use Enrage, you're getting 50, 60, or 70 damage, which is pretty good. That's like having it's like getting, it's not amazing damage, honestly. This was a mistake. I really shouldn't have BKB'd there. I BKB'd because I really thought it was going to be like their whole team and that was going to be the fight. when in reality I could have gotten away with just attacking that guy and then having my team disable him. Because my team was there to back me up there. I think that was a pretty big mistake. I wasted my 10-second BKB just for a support kill. It did guarantee that we got the tier 2 tower though, so it wasn't that bad. But looking back, I think it was a bit weird. So at this point I'm really far ahead. I've actually caught up a lot. My net worth is probably one of the higher ones. Oops, which button is it? Let's try lots of random things. Net worth. I am the second highest net worth in the game. I have higher net worth than Spectre. That's not necessarily... You kind of want a bigger gap than that because Spectre is much better in the late game, but this is okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. We're getting towers for free. Spectre got our tower bottom. That was a pretty big mistake. We shouldn't have let that happen. But yeah, they have Radiance now, so things get a lot harder. My blink, sorry, becomes a little bit more useless because if Spec ulties, I can't blink anymore. I just have to worry about running in. It's like Ursa, or that guy ended up surviving. At this point, I should spend my gold immediately on a Basher, but I didn't have any item slots. What I probably should have done, though, is drop the TP scroll and gotten the Basher, because this is one of the issues with Ursa, basically. You spend an item on a Blink Dagger, you buy an item with a lifesteal item, that's 2 slots, and you have boots, that's 3 slots. And then you buy Aegis all the time. Oh, this is a weird fight. That was a really good Ravage. I BKB'd here. My BKB was okay. I ended up getting a kill on... Got a kill on the Axe there before my Aegis burned out. Maybe the wrong time to BKB, but it was okay, I think. I think I BKB'd a little bit late as well. So there's the Basher. Yep, got the Basher. Now that I have my item slot, I bought it. Basher is really good to have. The reason Basher is good, it's like a substitute for having a sheep stick. You basically just, you attack so many times that you pretty much guarantee that you're going to bash him at least once. So as you're initiating, you're pretty much guaranteed to stun your target for 1 second. It doesn't do extra damage, but, well, I mean, the Basher item itself does increase your damage, but the actual bash itself doesn't do bonus damage, but it's still pretty good. One of the downsides to Ursa, in my opinion, though, is that the builds that you put him on don't have very much natural attack speed. He attacks really fast when you use Overpower, but other than that, you don't get a whole lot of attack speed out of his typical item choices. It's one of the reasons why, well, maybe not Sheepstick is amazing, but why skipping BKB is kind of nice, in my opinion. Yo, I have no idea why that... Oh, that's why. I had the wrong vision thing down. I just don't like getting BKB that much in a lot of heroes. It's like the best teamfight item, definitely. I think that's very obvious, but it limits you in a lot of other ways. Like it's not a very good damage item. It's a really mediocre damage item, and once it gets down to 5 seconds, it's kind of a crappy item slot in a way. It's the best way to describe it. So back to farming. Next item I'll probably pick up is going to be an Abyssal Blade. Abyssal Blade's a really good item on Ursa. It gives you plus 100 damage, and he hits really hard, or he hits really fast, so damage items over attack speed items are pretty darn good. So that part's cool. It also gives you a reliable stun of 2 seconds, which makes up for the fact that Basher is still a little unreliable. So I can jump on somebody, I can bash him for stun him for 2 seconds, and then have a good chance of guaranteeing that. I told my team to move up through the top lane into their jungle because we were less likely to get spotted that way. And my team again just kind of runs through the river. Unfortunately, again, you don't want to run through the river if you're going somewhere dangerous. Like if you're going on like an excursion to the enemy team's side. You don't want to walk through the river, because the river is probably going to have wards. You walk through your lanes. Oh, this is good. I think I messed up my blink here. I really thought he was going to blink there. And then I thought I was dead for sure. Oh, they lost the texture range to me, that's all. That's why that worked. So that was actually really good. Got a double kill. More goal advantage, getting pretty close to my Abyssal Blade. My BKB is getting really low is the only problem though. I'm down to 7 seconds, so. The first item that I picked up, and again, Ursa's a very much early game hero. He's an early to mid game hero. His late game is not amazing. There's a lot of things that people get that counter him when you get later and later in the game. You know, you could probably get on Ursa now. That's probably cool. You could probably get like a Maelstrom. I wonder if that'd be fun. I don't know if you can do Maelstrom procs when there's Maelstrom already out though. I don't know if you can do that anymore. I attacked a little slow there. I could have attacked him faster after my blink and maybe would have gotten that kill. But I'm very close to Abyssal now, might as well finish the item. Yeah, that camp is actually so much gold. It's 160 plus 90. It's like 270 gold right there. That's a really good camp. Alright, so now I got an Abyssal Blade. Gives me 10 strength, and it gives me 100 damage. I'm going to be using that on Storm to disable him, pretty much. Definitely wanted to use this here, see if I can get a kill with it. I thought I could, I can't remember, yeah I did TP. I really like being aggressive this game. I always like TP to our lane and I ran into their jungle. Gives me a different place to farm, and there's also very likely going to be heroes there that are just doing things casually. I couldn't see these heroes that they're just showing on the replay for some reason. So, found the Storm, I blinked on him, I Abyssal Bladed him, and I just attacked him a couple times. I had to BKB there, I figured that, I mean, I don't know if that guy, maybe he was DC, I don't know, but I think he was dead either ways. He had a little bit of reaction time, but I don't know if he would have lived there or not. Anyways, he used another BKB charge, that puts me down to 6, I think. So I'm about to have a worthless, it's not a worthless BKB, but a shit BKB, let's be real. 5 seconds is very low. I didn't realize my team was pushing here, I think I realized it pretty soon. That was maybe an opportunity to go push, though, that I should have taken. Ursa especially is not that much of a late game hero, so it's not very good to just continuously farm. The reason that he really peaks off, though, is because his disable is weak. So disables help you counter opponents that may have BKBs or escapes or defensive mechanisms like Yules or Force Staffs. His damage is very limited to his Fury Swipes to like 6 hits, and in the late game people build Ghost Scepters to build armor pieces, things like that make it really hard for Ursa to actually kill people. So in the late game his damage peaks off, it's much harder to just pick people off. Sometimes people get evasion, and then when they have evasion all of a sudden you're missing all the time, and that becomes a pain in the butt. You might have to build an MKB, and MKB is not an item that Ursa wants to build. There's too many other things that kind of get in the way of it, or that you need to build instead. Now I'm just going to wait to see if somebody comes top to farm. This is a good thing to do. Whenever I play... If I'm playing Dire, I usually sit in these 3 camps and I wait for somebody to farm bottom, and when I'm playing Radiant, I go up here. Oh. And that really appeared like they had a ward there. And let's check. See, he booked it as soon as I showed here. And they did. They had a ward that spotted me right here. And that's why the spec ran away. That was unfortunate. If I would have went a little earlier, that could have been really good. Is this the Quap? I think this is me coming.
Dire's bottom tower is under
yeah, that's a dead hero. There are some dead heroes here, but definitely shouldn't go in there. Looks like we lost our tide. I don't really know. I guess I was sitting top too much, but the team probably shouldn't have been pushing without me. I should have been watching to see if they were doing that though, so that's partially my fault that that fight went bad. Just waiting for the small camp to respawn here. So now the item to buy becomes kind of a harder choice. I think looking at this game, a heart might have been the right choice. Butterfly is pretty good as well. I think somebody in my chat said I should get Scotty. And I thought about the item. Wolfman really should have leaped here, but he didn't. I thought about Scotty, and I've already been thinking about Heart. Heart gives you like easy kill, just Abyssal Blade, right clicks. So what was I saying? Heart gives you about 1000 HP, Scotty gives you 700, but the stats that Scotty gives is way better. Heart's obviously good because it regens your HP if you're in and out of fights a lot. Just trying to keep Chachi alive here. But the cool thing about Scotty is that it also gives you agility. And since Ursa is an agility hero, and I'm also really lacking on attack speed, as you can see, if I'm attacking without overpower, my attack speed's pretty terrible, because I have a phase boots, obviously. But phase boots is the way to go. You really want the movement speed advantage. Not to mention that you get 24 damage per hit, which really adds up, because you're hitting 6 times really rapidly. But essentially, Scotty is pretty good. It also helps fill my mana problem as well. My mana is not that amazing. It'll give me damage for my strength for enrage, and it also gives me attack speed, which is all pretty cool stuff. So I see them moving towards me, and I kind of wanted to go in there, but it's very likely that they'll... I'm really glad I didn't farm that medium camp. I would have definitely died there. Should be a good time to move towards their my ancients, but it looks like I just ignored it. I have about 3,000 gold here. I think I did end up going for a Scotty. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this. He has eggs, so he ulted the creep wave. But I wanted to go in this guy. If I would have BKB'd there, I would have gotten that kill. And I really should have. My BKB was already at 5 seconds. Obviously the Spectre only had 2 seconds of stun, and if we did have the Quap ulti, we probably could have killed him, but I should have BKB'd there. Basically, there's no point not to BKB at this point whenever I go on somebody. It's a 55-second cooldown. It's really low. It's already 5 seconds. I should just pop BKB. So, I really should have BKB'd there. Because I would have killed the Spectre. I'm pretty sure I would have. Luckily, my team cleaned up a little bit here. That wasn't worth the Ravage. Definitely not worth the Ravage. Chachi ended up feeding him as well, unfortunately. But there's no reason not to BKB there, and that was a really big mistake on my part. I guess I didn't anticipate necessarily there being other people there, but the important part is that I had like a fraction of a second to right-click 1 or 2 more times, and it probably would have killed the Spectre, and I just chanced the fact that Lion or somebody else would be able to show up and disable me. I mean, Batrider can still disable me no matter what, as can Axe, but I really needed to just BKB there. There was no reason not to. That was just a really big mistake by me. So I should have just BKB'd. I have a lot of regret watching that game.
The prize is mine.
So, I've got 3,000 gold. I was kind of feeling like if I spent that money, then I would have been more likely to get that kill there, but it was really about the BKB. We had the blow up. If Quap didn't waste his ulti, we would have had a better chance of killing him as well, but it was... I really needed a BKB. I think I could have got him with the BKB. Look at my bonus damage. It's like plus 300 right now when I use Enrage. It's actually really, really high. I can't remember if I got Scotty or if I got Helm of the Dominator first. The recent Helm of the Dominator is pretty good here. This was the dumbest thing ever. This is our Tied with a gem. He's like, I'm gonna solo D-ward right by their base with a gem. And then our whole team went. I wonder what the gold graph is like. Oh wow, we actually have we get a 20k gold. Trying to fight the Spec was a mistake as well. So we basically lost 5 heroes. We didn't get any Ravages because Tide's Ravage wasn't up. And he threw the gem away first, and it wasn't like a clean 5v5. So that was pretty garbage. We threw away a lot there. What's the fight recap? They actually got 7,000 gold from that. Like, isn't that ridiculous? They got 7,000 gold, and look at this EXP change. That's 10,000 EXP difference that just happened from that fight. It's actually ridiculous. The comeback mechanics are still pretty serious in Dota right now. We actually did a lot of damage, but it needed to be a lot more clean, basically. Mirana really accomplished very little as well. Except for his ulti, I guess. Look how many more skills they used. Not that that makes that big. Look, 3 treads, guys. They used 3 treads. So, yeah, you can't really throw away fights like that. It's too big. I bought an ultimate orb here to work on the Scotty. Again, Scotty wouldn't have done a whole lot there. If anything, a Butterfly would be a better tankiness item because the evasion would be huge against Storm. But the only downside is that they have a Hex, and Hex removes evasion, so in some ways Hex is kind of wasted. But it's pretty smart of the Axe to actually go for a Heart this game because I'm all physical damage. I think he could have grabbed armor as well, but just increasing his overall HP was a really good way to reflect more using Blade Mail. So I think that was smart by him. I'll just speed things up while I walk places.
Worthy tribute. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bought a smoke here. Figured that we need to start doing team fights with smokes. That way we can get some advantage again. I wanted to go in the Spectre here, so I tried to organize the team to come. The Quap spent a lot of time solo farming this game. I think I showed there. That was my bad. There's the smoke. Can't see X. I don't know why you can see them in the replay. You can't see them in game. So we're off looking for people. I don't know. Do they have a high ground ward? We didn't end up catching them here. They're all hiding in their base. I don't see a ward. We just must have shown. Oh, they're actually smoking themselves. Alright, well, let's see what happens. We should have 2 Ravages here. Thought I would take Roshan. I don't know why Quap wasn't here. That was ridiculous to me. Actually, couldn't believe it. He obviously DC'd there. So the fight went pretty good considering the circumstances. The Quap wasn't there right away. The Ravages were great, like actually great. The Ravages saved the Aegis. I accidentally picked up the cheese right away, and I immediately used it because the Aegis is more important. It gave me like a little bit of HP. It was a bit of a waste, but it was worth it. So I used, grabbed the Aegis, and then I started fighting. I killed the Axe first, which was maybe not the right person to go on, but I did really increase the damage output. We thought he would be cutting over this way, so was gonna go for the clap. Didn't get him though. But the Storm disconnected. That was really unfortunate for them. If Storm was alive, I don't think I would have done. I don't know. We probably would have lost the fight, honestly. But it went okay for us. I think that'll be a dead hero. I think he had the blink, unfortunate, or the gem actually. That was unfortunate. Almost got. Yeah, that's actually enough for the Scotty. I don't know. I'm not sure if Scotty was the right move here. I might have been better off getting a different orb, like, I'm not sure what else. Maybe like a Mjolnir or something. I don't think Mjolnir would be too bad this game. AC is really good as well for Ursa. If you're having a physical damage problem, if your armor is getting reduced too much, getting an AC is good. Because you do physical damage anyway, so reducing their armor by 5 is great. Increasing your attack speed is really good, because after your overpower runs out, you can still do good damage. And this guy was like all about stealing last hits. It was really frustrating. It's like, yo, I'm trying to carry you, dude. I think I had to have Chachi put his ultimate orb on the courier just now, so I was taking a while to get there. Once in a while, like eventually it's worth it to make your Helm of the Dominator though. I could have also made of Vlad's maybe instead, but the nice part about the helm is that you can you can upgrade it to a Satanic later. And Satanic is pretty good for Ursa because you get a Reaver in there, which is more HP. That's 500 HP, which makes your Enrage do a bunch more. Is it 500? Or is it 250? It's 25 strength. That is 190, 190. Yeah, it is about 500. It's about 500 HP for a Reaver. So by getting Satanic, you increase your HP by 500, which gives you, what, 7 times 5 damage, which is pretty good. Is that right? 7% of 100 is 7 times 5. Yeah. So 7 times 5 damage, I think that's 35. So you get like 35 more damage when you use Enrage. So now I've got 3,300 HP. I've got a Scotty, which works because Fury Swipes isn't a orb or a unique attack modifier, and I think that works with lifesteal as well. I might actually be wrong on this. It does for range. I don't remember if it does for melee. We'll find out. I might have completely dicked up this whole game, but I think it does work this way. I think they changed it so that it worked for melee is the same as range, but I might be wrong. We'll see what happens. I'll just click on the next creep that I attack, and then we'll see. But Roshan's already gone, which is a little unfortunate. I wanted to take a Ancient here. What is happening? We're just running around. We basically need to get kills. Oh yeah, we're about to fight, I remember. So we're waiting to fight. I'm bringing a smoke to us. We had Quap come. There's some heroes. I wanted to go on the supports. I really shouldn't have. Wow, that storm. Man, I messed up this fight so bad. So the mistake that I made was I wanted to kill. Alright, it is actually slowing. Ooh, I'm so close. You know, I think I should have gone after the storm, not the rain here. But I messed up that fight really bad. What I should have done was I should have gone on the Spectre. I didn't want to go on the Spectre because I felt like my team could clean him up, and I wanted to go on the backlines. But it should have been the opposite way. I should be, since I do most of the physical damage, I should go on the Spectre, and then my Quap should go on the backlines like Bat Rider and Lion and stuff like that. But instead, my whole team jumped on the Spectre, and I think they ravaged him once, not twice, which is a bit of a mistake from our team. But they went on the Spec, and I wasn't there to deal damage, and I just felt like we weren't going to kill him for some reason. I don't know why, but I decided to go on the backlines, and my jump was way far off. I like really fucked up this game. Like watching this replay is really painful because I played really shit. I did pretty good snowballing, but I made a lot of really critical mistakes there, trying to go on the wrong people. I really needed to not go on those heroes. I needed to go on different heroes. We still have like a huge tower advantage too, so it's kind of ridiculous that we haven't won yet. Yeah, we actually had a 20k gold advantage. The XP is a lot closer though. Running to the top lane, gonna go try to get some solo kills again. I think Wolfman actually had really good items at this point. They're okay. He bought Boots of Travel, which is a waste. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting the lifesteal and the Scotty. I don't remember why we were backing so fast, but I think the Spectre is almost Butterfly, and this is what I was worried about. Once he gets Butterfly, then my attacks aren't going to hit as often, and that really limits my ability to burst DPS. You can still Hex him, and then again that reduces evasion, but man. Oh, and then our Tide Hunter was top for some reason, solo. I pinged him right before he got ganked too, unfortunately. I should have pinged him earlier. I think I was typing to him. I really needed to go on that Spectre mid. Man, I messed up so many team fights. I actually whiffed like at least 3 team fights. I played them inefficiently. I don't think it's smart to fight without Tide, especially because he has double Ravage, but I don't. Kind of looks like we're headed that way, doesn't it? Oh, I remember this part. I saw that coming. We actually saw the Bat Rider there. I was hoping I could hit him on the high ground, but I couldn't. And this is the point in the game where I realize I actually can't outcarry Spectre. He actually has as many items to me, but I don't have very good like 1v1 items. If I want 1v1 items, I probably wouldn't have BKB. I'd have a Satanic, and I'd have like a Butterfly or something like that. My items are more like ganking team fight. Yeah, ganking team fight, not as much like 1v1. Spectre has better 1v1 items now, with Heart and Manta and Butterfly almost. So That fight was... I don't think I played that fight very well. I should have gone on the Lion maybe instead of the Spectre. I could have killed Lion easily. But Barrett might have been able to deal with me. And I didn't have TP scroll either. So that kind of made things a little weird as well. I think going on the axe was fine. Well, the axe went on me and then I killed him. But I don't know. That fight was more like us losing control of the game more than anything else.
Radiant's top tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I didn't really feel safe with them going on this guy here. Because I really felt like their whole team would be there, but they actually weren't. It was really confusing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
More pauses. So I think we just farm for a while. Farming, farming, farming. Hope you guys don't mind the 2 times farming speed. Alright, and now we see Spectre, and I was like, alright, let's just blow him up. I'm trying to recreate the fight before we went on him. You know what we should have done. I actually don't know what happened for us to lose that fight. I'm actually gonna rewatch that fight if you guys don't mind, because I actually did really well that fight, I thought, and we ended up losing it. But apparently our backlines got wrecked from something. So I felt like that fight went. So we went in, arrow missed, ravaged. This is good. I blinked late. I should have blinked already. This is our tide. He got a second ravage off. No, it's just Storm, I guess. That's pretty much it. Okay. So the issue, I mean, obviously the issue was the buyback on Spec. If Spec hadn't bought back, then we would have won that fight. But you know, it shouldn't have gotten to that. There was like 3 fights at least where Spectre should have died, and he barely would survive due to errors by me mostly. So it shouldn't have gotten to this point in the game. Definitely should not have. But that was actually a pretty good fight from us. I think everything went pretty darn well, except for the arrow missing, but that's not that big of a deal, because he has DPS. Storm just did a little bit too much damage. Storm got everybody to like 40%, excuse me, and then the Spec ulted from the buyback, and then we lost the fight. That's basically what happened. So, everything else was played pretty cleanly, I think. So, we lost that fight. I don't know if they ever truly get gold advantage from us here. But we basically lost all of our towers. The Ravages were good, honestly. The Ravages were definitely good.
Roshan has fallen to the
But this is the issue now that they have Aegis. And this is basically like mimicking what just happened in the last fight, is that Spectre now has 2 lives, and that makes it a lot harder to win fights. A lot harder to win fights. That hero's already really tough to beat. I think my BKB timing was really good in that last fight. I saved it until really late. Way after the disables were finished, basically. And that was fantastic. I think I did that really well in that fight. My blink was late, and my BKB timing I think was really good. When your BKB gets down to 5, you kind of have to make sure you use it at the right times. Like when it's at 10 seconds, you can use it pretty generally to be safe. Like jump in, drop the BKB because it's lasting for the whole fight. But when the fight is about 10 seconds long and your BKB only lasts for 5, it's important that you save that extra second here or there. And in that case, I saved like 4 seconds. Looks like they're thinking about going on bottom, but I wasn't there. I was really worried that the whole team was there. Yeah, look at that. See? We didn't even have... Oh, I guess we may have ever had a Ravage, but... And now, right now, I asked for my whole team to come top. I was like, alright team, come middle and just kill spec. As for everybody to come. Yeah, that happened, guys. If we had a smoke there, we could have smoked through and killed the spec. And probably killed him twice. And burned his Aegis. I feel like we could have done that. I was checking for TPs, so it looked like they were coming back. Should have anticipated this better. Luckily their force is bad. Really good Ravage. Got the Lina. That cheese is big. So we burned the Aegis, but he shouldn't have stayed. That was a big mistake for him to stay, I think. That fight could have gone a little better. I should have probably helped kill the spec, but I think that fight was okay. My BKB, I shouldn't have gotten caught, but luckily the Bat Rider messed up his 4 staff, so the fight went a little better than it should have. But we lost another fight, and that was Aegis, and that's pretty much the beginning of the end right there. Here's my buyback. Oops, I'm gonna back that up, so I'm sorry. As you can see, I'm taking a couple disables. Shot TLC to creep. I actually got stunned through the whole thing. That one was on Meek's side and BKB in time. So I just talked about shaving seconds off your BKB, but that time I just messed it up. And I ended up dying for nothing. So that was my buyback, and that's game, pretty much. Everything else is just us dying. So that's one of the really hard things about Ursa, is that you have to be extremely crisp in your mechanics. You have like very, very small windows to make the right decisions, and if you do them wrong, you might lose your team the game. And he can snowball really well, and I think I did that pretty well, but I just made a couple team fight mistakes, or I popped my BKB a little bit late a couple times, or I went on the wrong guy for the first 5 seconds of the fight, and it just messes everything up. Like, your burst damage is so limited on your hero if you don't do your spells properly, if you don't like prep overpower and you don't get like a bunch of hits. And it's a lot has to do with positioning as well. Like, your hero's only so fast, and if you get slowed or you get chain stunned, you're out of the fight for the rest of the fight. It's like really hard for Ursa to control a fight, even with the big gold advantage. But that's what balances the hero. He like does so much physical damage even in the early game that you have to balance him out in some way, and his issue is mobility basically. People can run away from him very easily, and they can kite him with disables and slows and things like that. And we completely threw this game. And I think a lot of that was on me. I really underperformed this game. I think I farmed really well and I got a lot of kills, and I moved around the map to gank decently, but I really needed to make sure that I team fought better, and we just team fought poorly too many times. That's basically why we lost this game. Just too many bad team fights. That's all that lost us this game. Just like, we probably took like 5 team fights that we took bad, and that's what it takes to win a game sometimes. So, and way too many times the Spectre lived in fights where he didn't need to. Like, it was at least 5 fights where Spectre almost died, but he didn't. So, I'm just gonna fast forward until the game ends here, because you can't be mega creeps. Well, you can, but it's very difficult. Not with the items we have. So I get about 350 damage. Or is that 250 from my ultimate? Got the spec again. I ended up dying there. So, like, look how close it was. Like, even though we kind of threw a lot, there was still a lot of fights where it was really close. And if it didn't come down to buybacks, like, look at his net worth. His net worth is huge, and we're still beating them in fights. If his net worth was just slightly less, we would have killed him and we would have had a lot more HP. Like, it's so significant gold advantage. It's just like a couple instances of them having less items would have made the spec less viable in team fights, and they would have done less damage, and we would have been in a better position. So like, if that spec would have died maybe like 2 or 3 more times, even with our bad plays in team fights, we could have won this game. Like, it would have been like, it's so significant. Like, it's so important that you get those kills on those cores and you team fight properly. Like, this was a game that was completely lost because we team fought badly, and we just kept team fighting poorly. And I think there were some bad item choices as well. What can I? Oh, I have to click this too. I didn't realize that stayed on replays or anything. But one thing I hate about all these item drops is you can't see the scoreboard as often. It's like, get the hell out of my way. Like, seriously. I can't even see KDAs. That's so frustrating. Look at this, 22, 4, and 24. He didn't even last hit that much, like, relatively for a 1 hour game. I guess it's kind of a lot, but I mean, he just should have died more, and he didn't die quite enough, and we messed that up. So that was pretty bad on us. Just bad team fights. Pretty much was what happened, and a couple bad ganks early on were the issue. So, and I think I should have gotten more out of my lane as well. I think if Chachi played like a more reliable stunner hero, we could have crapped on my lane. So that's Ursa. This game was really disappointing to me because I played bad. I should have done a lot better in a lot of fights, but I think you guys have a pretty good demonstration on how to play the hero. Again, if you don't want to go BKB with an Abyssal Blade, you can just go Hex, or you can go Basher first, and you can blink around. You can get a Shadow Blade if you really want to. I don't recommend it. But get HP items. Get some kind of attack speed item late game, whether that's an AC or a Scotty or a Sanj and Yasha, and then that should translate you pretty well into the late game. So that's Ursa. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you later. Make sure to check out the Q&A session that I'm going to upload later today, and I hope you enjoyed.